Today we did more work with transversals in class. So on page 116 there's a good one that we can go over. Page 116, number 20. Okay, it says find x and y in each figure. So the little arrows on a line means that it's parallel to the other line that has little arrows on it. So we know that those two lines are parallel to one another. If you see it marked as parallel, it's probably a transversal problem. Okay, so the first thing we're going to try to do is find x. So if this were a transversal, let's say we drew this like it would be a transversal, what do we know about 68 and 2x? They're on the same side, and one is in and one is out. They're corresponding angles, right? So we can set them equal to one another in order to solve for x. So we have 68 equals 2x. We divide by 2, we get 34 equals x. Okay, so we also need to find y. Okay, so now we know that all of the angles in a triangle equal 180 degrees. So we know 68 is this angle. We already have the value of x, so we could plug that in to find this angle. And then we'll have two numbers and y. So then we'll be able to solve for y. So let's do that. We have 68 plus 3 times 34 minus 15 plus y squared equals 180. Okay, so if we go through and do the math for that, (34 times 3 is 102 minus 15, I'm doing this on my calculator, sorry, is 87 plus 68 is 155. So we get 155 plus y squared equals 180. I minus 155 from both sides, and I get y squared equals 25. Square both sides to get rid of my exponent, and I get y equals plus or minus 5. So now I have solved for x, and I have solved for y. Let's do another example. Okay, so basically I want you to see, when you see this dotted line here, this dotted line, you need to know that that is splitting the transversal into two different transversals, right? So this is the top, and then this is the bottom. All right, so now that we know that, I take this transversal. Oh no, I've split them. Okay, I have split the transversals. So as you can see, we have the big up here, big down here, small up here, small up here. We always want to label big, small as the first thing that we do. It helps us organize ourselves. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing over here. I have small, small, big, big. Okay. Okay, so in each one of these transversals, I'm going to work off of the top one first. I want to find the other angle. So I know that big plus small is 180 degrees. I know the measure of my big angle is 110. I don't know the measure of my small angle, so I'm going to solve for the small angle. I'm going to get the small angle is 70 degrees. So the small angle is 70 degrees. So I can write that over here. Where my small angle is. Now down here on the bottom, I'm going to solve for the big angle because I have the small angle. So big plus small is 180. My small angle is 37 degrees. I don't know my big angle. They both add up to 180. Let me just double check this on a calculator. Yes. It's 144. Okay. So our big angle down here is going to be 144. So in order to, we're trying to solve for the measure of angle 1. So we're trying to find this big angle right here. So I know that my small angles in the bottom are 37. This is a small and this is a big. And then on the top, this is a big and this is a small. So I basically just need to add together the small from the top and the small from the bottom. The small from the top is 70 and the small from the bottom is 37. So I'm going to add them together in order to get the measure of angle 1. And 30 plus, 70 plus 37 gives me 107. And the measure of angle 1 is 107 degrees. Now, let's do number 22 on page 116. Okay, so find the measure of angle 1 in each figure. All right, so there's just one angle 1. It looks like it's over here. Okay, so we're trying to find the measure of that angle. Now, the picture gives us some info. It lets us know that these two lines are parallel. I know that because it has the little arrows right here on each line, and those mean that the lines are parallel. So I know that this is a transversal down here, and I know that this is a transversal up here. Okay? And the dotted line, okay, so instead of splitting it into two transversals like I did last time, which was kind of a lot of work, I'm just going to work from this one down first, okay? So I know that I'm going to label my big and smalls first. This is a small, I'm going to use a different color. This is a small, this is a small, this is a big, and this is a big. All bigs are equal to one another, all smalls are equal to one another, so I know that this is going to be 157, and I know that big plus small is 180. So my big is 157, plus my small, I don't know, is 180, minus 157, minus 157, I get 23. Okay, so my small is 23 down here. All right. So that's a little less daunting now. If this is a transversal, remember we drew the transversal last time. I also know that this is going to be a small, this is going to be a small, this is going to be a big, and this is going to be a big. Okay, so given that knowledge, I will know that this is going to be 23, this is going to be 157, this is going to be 23, and this is going to be 157. I'm going to erase all this because it makes the picture crazy, but I just want you to know where I'm getting these numbers from, okay? All right, so remember, from what I just showed you, this is going to be 23. 23, okay? So let's organize the other side the same way. These are my parallel lines. This is the transversal. So this is going to be my small, this is my big. So angle 1 is a big. Let's write that over here. So that way we can remember that. This is a big, this is a small, this is a big, this is a small, this is a small, and this is a big. So we need to find S in this transversal in order to put it right here, and then we're going to add these two together, and they should equal 96, okay? So we need to find the measure of the bigs and the smalls in this transversal. Okay, well, we don't know either of those things, but we do know that this angle right here is 96 degrees. So if we think algebraically and we do 96 minus 23, we can find our unknown S, right? So let's do that. We'll get 73. S is 73. Okay, so this is 73. So we know that all of our smalls up here are going to be, I'm going to do a different color. All of our smalls up here are going to be 73. 73, 73. And we know that big plus small is 180. So if we know that our smalls are 73, we know that angle 1 is a big. We can solve for B in this equation in order to find the measure of angle 1. So let's do that. We get B, or angle one, is 103 degrees.